Today we're going to be reviewing everything that's in my gym bag that I take with me to the gym on a daily basis. First things first, front pocket, got my headphones, they pair with my phone, they work great, they sound great, they play me music great so I can lock in and go in my own zone. I've got a trusty resistance band there. The brand are completely unknown to me, got it off of Amazon, but I've been using that for a long time. Always just stretch up, do a bit of mobility, warm up before I train. A pretty key piece of the session, a set of these figure of eights from the Muscle Shed. That's the brand we're using. I found them at a Fit Expo, used them, give them a try at the Fit Expo I went to. They felt better than the figure of eights I had, so I replaced them. But I use those for all of my compound barbell lifts, so RDLs, bent over rows, that sort of thing. So those are the only two exercises I really use them for, but I take them with me all the time because that way, if anyone needs a pair, I can lend them a pair. Trusty gym pin. I do have two of these. I bought them as a set. There was some discount where if you bought one, it was one price, you bought two, they were cheaper, so I bought two. Sometimes I need two if I'm doing exercises where you've got a stack each side, stuff like the chest press or the chest fly. I'll put one in each stack, but at the moment I've just got one in my bag, one in my office. But those are great for loading up, progressively overloading. And then I have a big old pair of Strength Shop lifting wraps, rainbow coloured ones. They were the cheapest colour and I don't use them very often. I don't use them at all at the moment in my training, but I always have them in my bag in case somebody needs to borrow a pair of straps. I say, boom, use these, and because they've got very little use, they're still very strong, very tight. They do a great job on your wrist, so they're always there with me. And then I will either be bringing with me, depends on what I'm training. If I'm training upper, I'll bring a pair of these, which are some extra large knee sleeves that I use as elbow sleeves because they fit my elbow. They're the perfect size for my elbows. Even though they're knee sleeves, they fit fine on my elbows. They do a cracking job for all my pressing on my upper days, so I take them with me on my upper days. And then if I'm training lower, I will take these with me, which are also Strength Shop, same as those elbow sleeves, knee sleeves, sorry. But these are some 2XL IPF approved ones from Strength Shop. I store them inside out, I put them on inside out, and then I roll them up the right way around. But I got those there for my knees. They're pretty tight now, to be fair. I might need to go up to 3XL ones. I can't quite get them over my quads properly, and they're quite worn out, so they don't really offer that much support, but it's just more for warmth around the knee. Same with those elbow sleeves, they're pretty loose, so I might need to look at getting some newer pairs, maybe some less worn out pairs, but they're a bit threadbare at the moment. And then I have my intra-workout shake, which is just in this 1.5 litre bottle. Intra-workout wise, I sip on 50 grams of maltodextrin, a bit of squash to hide that nasty flavour, and an electrolyte tablet, which is to replenish my electrolytes, keep me hydrated. That's just a cheap as chips one that has all the things I need in it. Sometimes I'll put a bit of salt in it as well, because if I'm low on salt for the day, make it up in that shake, it tastes fine. Carry that around the gym, I'll drink that 1.5 litres across the 2 hours I'm warming up and training for. And then another important piece of kit I bring with me is my Bob and Brad massage gun. It's basically an upgraded version of a Theragun. If you've heard of a Theragun, it's a massage gun. Cannon that bad boy on. I only bring one nozzle for it because it's the one adjustment I like on it. I'll set it to mode 2, which means it starts slow, gets fast, and I'll just warm up my pecs, both pecs when I'm training upper. I'll do this for about 5-10 minutes. In between my stretches, I'll do my pecs, I'll do my triceps, I'll do my delts, and then I'll warm up my adductors and my quads when I train lower. But that's a great bit of kit, great bit of my warm up. I feel like it stops me getting injured as much, or I hope it does anyway, but I'll be using that throughout my sessions just before I get training. When I'm doing my band work, I'll warm up my chest and my triceps on my upper days, and I'll warm up my quads and my adductors on my lower days. And then one of the most important bits that we've now switched back to, it's a good old notebook, a logbook, cheap as chips, pick that up from Home Bargains. I was doing all my tracking on my phone for the last off season, for the last little bit of time, but then I thought to myself, I preferred back in the old day where everything was on paper, back when I was training before, and I've got my binder full of notebooks. I thought I'd start a new one. It means I'm not on my phone. I can just press my music, press play, have my headphones in, listening to whatever I have downloaded from SoundCloud. SoundCloud Premium enjoyer, I know, I like, shoot me. But all of the music I like is on SoundCloud, because it's all, no one's ever heard of it. But yeah, I will have this logbook with me. And the way it works, I don't know if this will be in focus or not, but I have my 7 exercises for my session at the top. I have the weights underneath each exercise, the weights and the reps, and the date. So you can see we've got the weights and the reps and the date, and then the date below is the week next that we do that session. We just have to beat all of those weights, all of those reps for the next week, and that's how we logbook, quite simply. All the weights are there. You can literally look up and down across the page and you can see the progression. I've got my upper A, B and C days, and I've got my lower A, B and C days. It's just easy to progress, and I'll do, you can see here we've got 3 weeks worth of progression there. I'll do 4 weeks per page, and then I'll calculate the total tonnage that I gained across those 4 weeks. If anything in those 4 weeks didn't progress, I'll look at moving it out. If any of those days from session to session, week by week didn't progress, I'll look at changing out those exercises. But that's what the logbook's for, calculating that tonnage, seeing what worked, what didn't, what's progressing, what's not working. I've got all my splits written in the back of it for this current off season, all the plans, little bits and bobs and quotes, stuff that I doodle while I'm working out in between rests, just stuff that you think about, pops in your mind and you think, I'd like to write that down. But this one should last us for the rest of the off season. And then on occasion, not in my bag at the moment, but I will bring this little contraption with me from Compex, and I will bring this little bag with me, which is just a body bag fanny pack. That's a fanny pack there that I found. And this is an EMS machine, electro muscle stimulator. It's got 4 little dangle bits come off it that go to 2 little pads each. So you've got 8 little pads that you put on all your muscles, and then you set them off to make the muscles tense, to increase blood flow. And I'll put the machine in the fanny pack, and then I can just walk around the gym with that machine, activating my muscles as part of my warm-up. But I'll oftentimes use that when I'm recovering or I feel sore. So if I've pulled a pec, tweaked an adductor in the past, or my triceps just feel like they're not recovering, I'll plug up on half the pads on one arm, half the pads on the other, hide the device, all the wires under my clothing, hold the actual machine bit, the big bit, in the fanny pack. So or my pocket, put it in my pocket if I don't have that with me. Turn it on, run it through. I think it's a 20-minute cycle it does for the recovery one, the massage one. And then I do a 20-minute one for the pain, so about 40 minutes of that. And it does help quite a bit. But whenever I have an injury, I'll do that, those 40, the 20 minutes of the massage and the 20 minutes of the pain. And I will do that for, a couple rounds every day. So obviously having it in a pack like that where you can transport it around means I can do it while I'm cooking in the kitchen, while I'm doing whatever throughout the day, or while I'm in the gym. But that's not coming with me at the moment, because luckily we're injury-free, niggle-free at the moment. 3 weeks in to the reversal of the off season. So those are all the bits I bring with me. That's the bag that I all managed to fit everything in. And if we're lucky enough to be bringing food with me to eat after the gym, I will have to bring the even bigger version of this bag, basically, and everything will fit in that bag, as well as a cool bag with my post-workout. But at the moment I train, and then I have plenty of time to get home and eat, because all my food is there ready for me to eat at home, and I only live 10 minutes away from the gym. But if it ever comes to it, I just bring food with me. But yeah, it's always best to know where your next meal is coming from. So sometimes I have an even bigger bag, slightly bigger than this, But yeah, those are all the bits of kit that I bring with me on a daily basis. So we'll run through them as I repack that bag. Got the logbook in there. Got the wrist wraps, which I tend to just lend out to a friend. If anyone needs them, they come see me for those. I've got my gym pins to put more weight on the machines, because obviously we're progressively overloading and no machine is heavy enough anymore. I've got the figure of eights for my RDLs and my bent over rows, because my grip strength is not as strong as my hamstrings or my back anymore. We've got my bands to stretch up, to warm up those upper body, rotator cuffs mainly, chest mainly. We've got my Bob and Brad improved version of a therapy gun. I use that to warm up just the areas I'm training or the areas that feel sore, put some blood in them. We've got, for tomorrow's leg day, my knee sleeves, 2XL, IPF approved. They're a bit knackered. They're no longer really providing all too much support, but they do a good enough job. I've got my slightly smaller knee sleeves that I use as elbow sleeves. They'll be coming with me next time I train push. We've got my intra-workout drink, 50 grams of maltodextrin with some electrolytes and some squash to hide the taste. Lots of people, intra-workout, it's either maltodextrin, dextrose or cyclic dextrin or Vitago that people use. I've used Vitago in the past. I've used maltodextrin in the past. I think I've used dextrose once, and I've never used cyclic dextrin. I've got no issue with the way maltodextrin sits in my stomach, so it's the cheapest one. Why not use that, basically? Simple as. I've got that EMS machine as well for injuries that I sometimes take with me if I need it. And I, of course, have those Samsung Pro 2s that sound amazing. Yeah, got my phone. Obviously, that's you that I bring with me as well. But the phone is basically just for the music at this point. It used to have a sheet, Google Sheet with all my lifts and numbers, but now I just use the logbook for that because it's much easier. So that is everything I bring with me to the gym. Smash everything out. Have my food before I go to the gym, so I don't need to bring food with me. Have my food after I get home from the gym, so I don't need to bring food with me. But if I'm out traveling, out and about, we have an even bigger bag than this, the massive bag. It's ridiculously big with the pre-workout and the post-workout in it, and it fits that in just barely. So I think as I start eating more food, I'll probably need to take a gym bag and a food bag. So that'll be the way things will be. But that's everything I bring with me. Thank you for watching.